Welcome to Shit's Getting Real with Sax, where we strip back the filters and get raw about life, money, emotions, and business. This is your safe space for unfiltered conversations, the kind that make you feel seen, understood, and deeply connected to something bigger. No bullshit, no pretending, just real stories, deep truths, and the occasional existential crisis. Because life, it's messy, it's magical, and it's meant to be truly felt. Hello, my party people, and welcome back to another episode of Shit's Getting Real with Sax. Still undecided on the name change. I will definitely keep you updated, but I wanted to jump on today and do a bit more of a light-hearted conversation and also a bit of a pick-me-up positive conversation, because last week's podcast was quite a negative story in regards to travel, and I haven't spoken a lot about the different travel experiences that I have had and the different things that I have experienced while being away. And I want to just reiterate in this podcast how incredible travel actually is, and how mind-blowing the experience is, and how all of the good times are so much more worth it than any bad experience. Like, I have had multiple bad experiences, but they do not even slightly compare to how great the good experiences have been. And I really, really am such a massive advocate. And I don't know, maybe it's just the fact that I got a little bit of a Sagittarius rising in me that makes me just ache for this adventure and travel and new experiences all of the time. But if you have that calling and you have that feeling and you're just like, what is out there in the world? What does it mean? What can I experience? Why am I just wanting to travel and travel and travel and travel? Please, I beg of you, listen, because it is because it is the most soul-fulfilling thing that you can possibly do, including the bad experiences. Because every single experience that you have teaches you so much more about yourself than you could ever learn within the four-walled confinements of your normal, regular routine. Like, dead set. Dead set every single time. I'm the most massive advocate. But before we get into the episode, I think I'm just going to do a little bit of an update. A little bit of a, hey, how you going? Because it's been a while. And I want to tell you guys a little bit more about my life. So here I am. It is kind of my first episode recording in this location at night. So if you can see the video, tell me whether you like it or not. I thought salt lamp behind me, kind of moody, got my plant. There's actually a sunset lamp over there. I've got a candle over there in the background. Everything is going on. And I think I like this vibe. I like the daytime, but honestly, my daytimes have been so freaking busy recently that I kind of feel like this might be the new vibe. This might be the new recording vibe. Let me know if you feel it. Anyways, my days have been so full because since I got back from Thailand, I have just been hustling like a little motherfucker up in here. Like, literally. Which is so funny because when I went to Thailand just recently, I actually said to my manager, or the owner of Perched, hey, look, I really want to go down to 4 days a week because at the moment, I just feel really overwhelmed and I feel like I'm burning myself out because I'm working here, I'm working with the candles, I'm trying to do my own business stuff at the same time, and I'm burning the candle at both ends at this point. The stick at both ends, the candle at whatever the saying is. And I really felt it. And so coming back from Thailand, I actually felt for the first time like rejuvenated from a holiday where I was like, okay, cool. I actually feel like I had a good reset. I feel like I got to relax, I got to switch off, and now I'm ready to come back and really get myself into a cycle that I actually like and that I actually enjoy. And for me at the moment, that is working 4 days a week at the cafe, which I am loving. Honestly, since implementing this 4 days a week, it has flowed so nicely. All of the girls are just so incredible. I'm so obsessed with every single one of them. The flow of the cafe, the flow of the energy, the upbeatness of everyone, like everything is just working well. And I think that that's also one of those things where when things feel good in you, they are represented in your reality, right? The projection of what is actually going on the inside. Whereas before I went on holiday, when I was feeling all of that like overwhelmed, burnout feeling, it felt like that was what everybody else was reflecting back to me as well. And now it's so much more peaceful, and I'm in love with it. And there's some massive changes happening over at A Little Tame in the studio slash shop, shall I say? A little sneak peek information drop. But it's been so much fun, and really being able to organize and set up that place in a completely different way now that the studio has moved, and just the flow of that too. Like everything work wise is just flowing so much better. And because everything within the jobs that I'm working are flowing so much better, the mindset that I'm in on my days off is also just so much better to be able to dedicate into what I want to bring into reality for this new brand that I'm about to launch.
I know. I'm having microphone difficulties.
This new flow that I'm creating for this new brand, it is basically all around conversations and talking. Sneak peek. Let me know if you know what you think is coming, because it's probably even better than you could have thought. You know what I mean? Anyways, so that has been really good and that has been really fulfilling. And I also have been going through a lot of really, really hard emotional times with a lot of family stuff that has been coming up for me recently. And that has been a really hard thing to process, because coming back from Thailand, I did really want to just focus on my hustle and focus on my grind and focus on my business and just let go of everything else that had nothing to do with me. And instead, those things have really been continuously put in front of me and put in front of me and put in front of me. And it's been such a massive journey of me in learning where I can place my boundaries and really stay strong in them. And something that I have been learning is to stop over explaining myself and to actually be able to just sit in my own truth and allow other people to have whatever perception they have of me, and to know that I'm not going to be forced into having conversations when I'm not actually ready to have them, because there was no resolution that was coming, and it was just creating this further torment again and again and again and again, because the same conversation was just going again and again and again. And I felt so drained emotionally and physically and mentally. Oh, it was not fun. It was really not fun. And again, I'm still grateful that that was what I've been experiencing over the last couple of weeks.
because it's actually brought me back to me. And it was such a massive mirror for me to realize that as much as I felt that other people were dumping and dumping and dumping and dumping things on me, it only felt like that because I wasn't focusing my attention and my energy on me. And I wasn't spending enough time actually filling up my own cup. And so these last 4 days, 5 days, I've done so much work into going deeper into the thought patterns, listening to my brain, listening to where these emotions are coming from for me, listening to the reactions, thinking about the projections of what that person has said and how it has triggered me, or what truth is actually in what they're saying and what I feel the projection is for me, rather than focusing on you're just projecting, you're just projecting, you're just projecting, turning the projection back and realizing that yes, there may be a projection based on their experience, but also what is their projection highlighting within me? Because if it's continuously coming up in my reality, it's something that I'm creating for myself. And so being able to actually really hone in on that and hone in on those feelings and cry and cry and cry and cry. Like, girl, I have cried more in the last 3 weeks than I did in the last 3 months. I swear. It has been a wild time. A wild, wild, wild time. But I'm feeling fresh again because I actually gave myself that time and that space to sit with those feelings and to reiterate and return to myself. And now I'm not coming to these conversations or these painful situations with all this pent up feeling or all of this buried down stuff. I'm just coming at it from a plain perspective and I'm just neutral again. And it feels so freeing. So freaking freeing. Oh my God. And I started dating someone new. Well, I'm seeing someone new, is what we've decided to define it as. And it's feeling magical. And I'm going to talk about that in another episode. Sorry. Because today we're here to talk about travel. So I'm going to get into travel a little bit more. And like I said in the beginning, my travel experience is so actually deep centered into who I am as a person. And I think that's what has allowed me to create such incredible experiences for myself. And people always say to me, like, how do you travel so much? What country are you even in? Where are you right now? What are you doing? Like, who are you with? All of these sorts of messages I get all of the time. Right? And the truth is that I make all of my travel experiences happen for me. It's a choice. And the choice is because I know how fulfilling of an experience it is for me. And sometimes travel just isn't for people. And that's okay too. If you're someone who actually feels fulfilled and feels like they're so happy doing the things that they're doing already, I really, really don't want you to listen to this episode and be like, oh, maybe I need to be more like her. Maybe I need to be more like this. Maybe I need to be more like that. Because when the time is right for you, the place will actually call for you. And I've had this experience multiple times. I remember before I moved to Queensland, I went and saw a psychic medium. And I actually went to see her because I was really wanting some contact and some closure and some just connection with a friend of mine who had recently passed away by suicide. And I went to this meeting with this lady And we sat down, and I didn't know her. I didn't know anything about her. I had her text messages, so it wasn't like I contacted her through social media or anything like that. Not even that I was posting on social media about what I was wanting, but I was planning at that time to move to Queensland. I just hadn't really set in stone my dates, my times, that sort of stuff. But I was very set on next year I'm moving to Queensland, next year I'm moving to Queensland. And I went and I sat down with this psychic medium, and one of the first things that she said to me was, this is really strange, but like the East is calling your name. And I literally just laughed because I was so shocked at first, and I just didn't know really what to say because she was so like, it doesn't really make sense. Like there's no nothing. Like I don't understand what East is, but like the East is calling your name. And where I'm from is West Australia, and Queensland is in East Australia. And so as much as I felt that pull, there was that energetic tie of that place just begging me, like, come be in this energy, come be in this energy. And I've had that experience multiple times now, not so much with the psychic medium, but with, okay, I don't really know where I'm going to go, but I feel like I should go and explore this area. I feel like I want to go here. Even when I went to Thailand last year, it was like, I want to go to Thailand because it looks cool and I've not really been or explored it, and it's cheap and it's vibey. And I actually checked my astrogeography, which I would highly recommend for all of you little travel bunnies out there to do. It's basically a test of, not a test, but it's a graph that goes based on your place of birth, time of birth, astrology information, and creates these ley lines or these energetic lines and energetic points all over the world based on different energetic frequencies for you specifically and personally. And each line means something different, and some lines is more stronger to the west of the line, some lines is more stronger to the east of the line. Like, I don't really actually know all that much about it, but I just know about my own personal one. And Thailand was a hotspot for me. Thailand was a great place for finding your next steps in the direction that you want to go in. And so for me, I was like, okay, well, I don't know really what I want to do. My dad passed away. I have this money. I don't want to go to Queensland. I don't want to go to WA. I need to figure it out. And so I went to Thailand to find out what I wanted to do next. And it literally gave me all of the answers that I was looking for. I had the clarity around, I don't want to do coaching anymore. I had the clarity around moving through the shame aspects of drug use or creating these negative stories for yourself based on other people's perceptions of things. It had all of these life lessons to me in incorporating the really witchy side and the fairy side and the siren side, and just all of these different aspects of all of these people who I met along that journey. And I had the most incredible time. And I went there, I booked it for a month, and then I was like, I think I'm going to travel around the rest of Asia. And I didn't. I stayed for another month, and then I went to Cambodia for 2 weeks and hung out with my aunties. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to go back to Thailand because I feel like I haven't learned it yet. I feel like I need more. I want what Thailand has. And so I went back to Thailand and I spent another 2 months in Thailand, and I had an incredible time. Even with everything that happened to me, as per the last episode, I still look back on that whole experience with so much love and so much joy, because that one experience was one person, and there were so many other experiences and other people that I got lessons from and learnt about myself through, that I could never hate that place, like, ever. But I'm going to take you all the way back to one of my first experiences with travel. It was for my 16th birthday, and my mum, I was turning 16 and my sister was turning 21. I think that was the age. Yes. And I begged and begged and begged my mum, can we please go to Santorini? Can we please go to Santorini? She was like, okay, but if we're going to go to Greece, we're going to go to more places than just Santorini. And I literally wanted it so badly that I went to her with a full itinerary of all of the different hotels, all of the different options we could stay at, all the different places. Like, I spent months researching all of the information to give to her as a proposal, to be like, please can we go? And I'm so lucky and blessed and grateful that I got to experience that at such a young age, because it really lit me on fire with the amount of variety of people that we met on that one journey. We were away for about a month, and in that month we met this Australian girl who had been backpacking for like 6 months, and she was on the beach one day and she was chatting to us and we were talking to her, and she was probably my age now, which is just crazy. And I just remember talking to her and mum saying, oh yeah, Saxony wants to do some travel like after school finishes. Keep in mind that I still had like 2 more years left of school at this point. And she was just like, you can do it. You can do whatever you want. There's these workaway programs and there's homestays, and you can volunteer at different places and you can run tours and you can do this and you can do that. And my whole brain just went from being the size of a golf ball to the size of a watermelon. It felt like the whole world opened up for me in that conversation, because now it wasn't just some pipe dream. It wasn't just some only the rich and famous can do this. It wasn't some, oh, you know, backpacking and you can only go for 1 month, 2 months. It was like, no, I can actually make this a lifestyle and I can actually do this for real. And it was such an incredible eye-opener for me that I genuinely went home and started planning out what countries I wanted to travel to after I finished school. And on that trip, we met Canadians who were so much fun. Oh my God, literally had the best time with them. And we got to experience Greek culture, and I got to learn about Greek mythology. And it's so funny because I've been back to Athens 3 times, and every time I go back, I feel like I want to learn even more. Like, there is this one museum, I suppose, is what it is. And I am obsessed with going. And from the museum, you can see the Acropolis, and you've got all the like artifacts that the archaeologists dug up, and you've got the statues and the goddesses and the gods and all of this stuff. And I don't particularly love museums all that much, but the older that I get, the more interested I actually am in them, and the more intrigued I am about the lives and the stories of the people who built this. Because the more I travel, the more I realize how incredibly intricate every single person's life is. And that is quite literally the biggest blessing that you learn when you travel. Because all of a sudden, instead of just knowing people who have grown up around you your whole life, or who maybe moved here for a little while, who moved here, who had lived somewhere else for a little while, or who had done this for a little while. It's like you're meeting people who have had completely different lives to you, who speak completely different languages to you. The first time I experienced like having a conversation with someone without knowing English, like we didn't speak the same language, but we were able to communicate, and to be able to learn how to do that and learn how to express what you're saying through things other than words, because words are actually only like 7% of communication. Everything else is what actually matters. Body language, tonality, like your facial features, all of these other things, right? And so, and on top of that, it's different for every culture, because, you know, some cultures are really loud and they use their hands a lot and they're very expressive, and other cultures are kind of like, whoa, you're aggressive. And it's like, that's not aggressive to them. That's just how they express themselves, right? And so you get to learn so much more about accepting that not everybody is the same. And you also get to learn so much more about what life means like for me. And the first experience that I had traveling by myself was when I was 19 and I moved to the UK, and I fell into such a deep depression and it fucking sucked. And I thought, oh my God, this isn't for me. I can't do this experience. And then I went around Europe and I met so many people, and every single person that I made a connection with taught me something different. And they showed me that there is so much more to the world than what I'm already thinking. Because from those experiences was when I first learned that general day-to-day people actually just make money online and they can just travel and make residual income. My first ever Kentucky, I was going through Morocco and Spain, and there was this Australian guy who was, I think, in his late 20s, and I had just turned 20, and he had his laptop one morning and he was doing things, and I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, oh, I have this like drop shipping company, and I basically just get these items from China and resell them by making these videos of them or by doing the right marketing and creating this stuff. And yeah, I just make income from it. And so I just need to make sure I process the sales through to them so that they can ship it off. And I was like, wait, so the product's not yours? And he was like, no, the product's not mine at all. And my mind was blown, because obviously now everyone's like, oh, drop shipping, that's old. But 6 years ago, drop shipping was like the dream. That was like, oh my God, what the hell? How do I do that? How do I make money off other people's products? That's freaking lit. And it blew my mind, because he was just traveling the world and working on a computer for like a couple of hours in the morning. And now when I go traveling, I meet people who are doing AI automations and who are doing website creations and who are doing video editing and who are doing sound editing, and who, all of these different things that I have no idea are actual jobs that sound like such pipe dreams, until all of a sudden they're right in front of you and you're like, oh my God, tell me more about it. I wouldn't be where I am right now, sitting here with these devices, with this platform, with this confidence, with this experience, had have I not left my boundaries of my bubble that is the hometown, or that is the home. Because every single time I left this country, my world got bigger instantly. And even in regards to the different sexualities that you can embody, Like, oh my God, I literally was falling for a girl at the start of this year because I traveled to a place where I was able to just freely experience that new feeling that I had. I probably wouldn't have done that in the confinements of my hometown because it's not my normal here. But when you leave the confinement and when you leave the normality of your cycle and your routine and all of those things that structure who you are in this place, you allow yourself to become whoever the fuck you want to be. Whoever you want to be. And it's so fun being able to try on all these different hats and just decide for yourself, actually, do I want to be quiet? Do I want to party? Do I want to be loud? Do I want to tell these people that I own a business? Or shall I just tell them that I'm just traveling off my savings? Do I want to tell these people that the business that I do is in this? Or do I just say that I'm a counselor? Like, you get to just try so many different versions and actually find the one that feels the most real to you, that feels the most authentic to you. You have so much time for self-reflection when you're traveling, specifically solo traveling. Like, I'm talking about, I'm going on a month-long, 2-month-long trip doing a solo travel, but you can experience this with a weekend. You can experience this with a week. Like, it doesn't have to be a prolonged experience. It just has to be.
Bear with me, guys, because my microphone, I bent the cord, so I need to order a new one because it hasn't been connecting now and it needs to connect. So hopefully that audio was okay. If not, bad luck for you. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Being able to stand into all these different versions of yourself and free yourself from the confinements of who other people see you as. You don't have to be the caregiver when you're around people who don't treat you like you're the caregiver. You don't have to be the quiet and shy one when you're around people who don't treat you like you're the quiet and shy one. You can step into new levels of confidence. You can try out starting conversations with new people. You can go into being a party person if you're normally a solitary person. For me, it was the opposite. I was such a party person when I was in my hometown. And when I started traveling, I realized that I was only doing that because it was a routine. It wasn't because it was actually fulfilling me, because I actually liked doing things in the daytime. And I still like to party, but I didn't need to do it every single day. I didn't need to do all of that stuff. I just liked to do it when I actually felt like going out, when I actually felt like partying with people and being around people. So you get to explore, you get to try on different hats. And, you know, I think anyone who's ever been on a holiday before has felt that experience of like putting on clothes that you maybe wouldn't wear back in your hometown, wearing a nicer dress, wearing a different bikini, wearing your hairstyle in a different way. Like, there are so many of these small little aspects that get to change when you're in these new environments. And the confidence that you actually feel from being able to, one, change, two, be whoever it is that you actually want to be without all of this perceptions of everybody else around you, and three, figuring it out. The biggest blessing that ever comes from solo travel is just going through the shit times and having to figure it out anyways. I built so much self-belief in myself through not having internet and having to figure out a map, or communicating with someone without using English, or being late for something. I remember on my first Europe trip, I got to an accommodation and it was so late at night, and I found out that I had booked it for a whole other month. And I was like, what am I going to do? And the lady was like, I'm really sorry, but we're fully booked. And I didn't have any real internet on my phone. I had to ask her for the Wi-Fi of the place so that I could go on booking.com and look and book something else and then figure out how to get my way there. And it was so stressful, and I was crying and having a full meltdown, like the worst experience ever. But once I got to my next place and I woke up the next morning and I went downstairs and there was a buffet breakfast, and I met these two other Aussie girls and I spent the whole day with them and I had the best time, and we went out and we danced and we just had such a good time. And I never would have experienced that day had of that shitstorm not have happened the night before. And so it built so much belief in myself that I can handle hard situations. And it also helped me believe in the universal timing and the universe's knowledge, and that just idea of everything works out for me. Everything always works out for me. Even the shittest things that happen turn into the greatest experiences for me. And it is the biggest blessing to be able to hold within you and just experience confidence like you've never felt before, experience freshness like you've never felt before, experience desire. Like the way that the European men desired women was just like out of this world to me. And it was such an experience of, wow, I really need to raise the standards of what I'm looking for in a partner, because the things that these guys do for someone is phenomenal. And I don't want to settle for a mediocre version when I know that this is available for me out there. And it's the same with my style. Like, I'm not going to settle for basic beach boho when I know, not that I don't like basic beach boho, because everyone knows I love that, but when I know that I can also have this like eclectic, like random ass, extravagant, like almost European style, and then I can go into the Thai style, and then I can go into the American style, and I can experience all of these things because I've actually lived the experience. And I've felt how good it feels to go into that personality, to go into that persona. And that is a gift that staying in your home will never be able to provide you. Because you can create as many Pinterest boards as you want, babe. As many as you want. But until you actually experience that life, I don't think the pictures will ever help you understand and fully embody that style. Whether it's relationships, whether it's locations, whether it's lifestyle, whether it's outfits, like whatever it is, you need to actually put yourself out of your comfort zone and put yourself in that situation to help you grow into the person that that lesson is supposed to teach you. And now I have friends all over the world. Like I literally could probably go to any country and message someone and be like, hey, I'm in your country, let's hang out. Which is incredible. And it's such a cool experience. Even just the other day, my friend from the UK was like, hey, can I call you? I really want to come to Australia and I just want to ask you some questions. And I was like, girl, you can call me whenever you want. It doesn't even have to be about that. Like, I am your friend. You can call me whenever you want to. And it's so beautiful because all of these different relationships that I got to form all know a different aspect of me because they met me at a different point in my life. They met me when I was experiencing a different part of myself. They met me when I was exploring different avenues of my personality. And so instead of shutting myself down or feeling like I have to pick one thing, I get to actually experience each part of myself and each aspect of my personality with these different people. And it's so beautiful to be able to know that I can be myself because all of these people have that true version of me. Honestly, guys, what a waffle. Sometimes I feel like I get to the ends of these episodes and I'm like, what the fuck did I even just say? So I hope that resonated. I hope that you feel inspired, and I hope that you realize that there is so much more to life than the little box that is this comfort zone. And the more that you travel and the more that you experience life, the more open you become to experiencing more. And the more open you become to experiencing more, the more you actually receive. Abundance comes in so many different forms. It is not just financial. You can have abundance of love, abundance of friends, abundance of experiences. Literally just yesterday, I was texting with my ex about how when we were in Scotland, we went on this like underground ghost tour and they picked me out of the whole group to be the witch. And how hilarious it is that now I'm so embodied in that like witchy persona of rituals and worship and spells and this personality that I have and that I hold, that even back then when I didn't realize who I truly was, the energy could still be carried. And it was so much fun. We had the best time together when we were on that trip, and it was so nice to be able to just connect and go over how fun that was and what an experience that was and how different our life is now in comparison. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful to know that my whole life is just full of these memories. And every single one of them has shaped me into the person that I am. And I fucking love the person that I am. I love her so much. So if you feel like you're not there, babe, travel. Go and explore. Go and find it. Go and just experience it. It's not about finding out something that is new or like was lost. It's actually just about unlocking the things that are already inside of you. You're not finding yourself, you're remembering yourself. And that is the most beautiful part about travel. Okay. Episode done. Love you all. I will speak to you next week. As always, if you resonated with this, please share your love, give me 5-star reviews, do all of the different things because I love you and you love me. Love you.